he also works with Ben on the show Buddies, which you can catch on the US Weed channel this spring. So without further ado, let's bring up Trejon Dunkley.
I almost kind of don't want to stop because it's so nice. Oh man, give it up for your house band. And thank you so much to Cole for putting this show on. His enthusiasm has kept us all going. Just every day in the group chats, like, I'm so excited about this. Here's some more information. I'm really happy to have been up here with my friends Ben and Becca. Getting to meet new people, getting to hear their stories, just knowing the queer life and queer love and queer happiness is alive and well in Phoenix, Arizona in 2018. So I'm going to tell you a little story about my first experience with this crazy little thing called bisexuality. On April 28th, 2008, Katy Perry released her first single from her second album, One of the Boys. The song I Kissed a Girl was a massive departure from her previously squeaky clean Christian persona, launching her firmly into the pop stratosphere as a silly, sexy star. Mid-October 2008, Trejon Dunkley attended freshman homecoming against her better judgment and met a girl who would change her life forever, transforming Trejon from a fidgety, knock-kneed nerd to a fidgety, knock-kneed nerd who was also a major homo. Yes, folks, the Trejon in that story is me. And this is the tale of my first kiss, which happened to be too absurdly gay to actually be real, much like your humble narrator. If you're my well-meaning aunt, you're probably asking yourself, how do you know? How do you, really know that you're, you know? Glad you asked, Aunt Lou. It all started when I was 6 years old and I saw Hunchback of Notre Dame for the first time. I feel like some other people get where I'm going with this one. I got Frollo a little bit too well. I mean, yeah, why wouldn't you burn down Paris for a lady? That makes perfect sense. Esmeralda definitely shouldn't have ended up with Phoebus, or Quasimodo for that matter. She should have run off with Mulan, and so they could be best friends and roommates. From that point on, I lived in a confusing limbo of caring about my girlfriends way too much and not caring about boys at all. The boys were all gross and scabby, and they all wore the same Mad Dog t-shirts every day. Girls, on the other hand, were nicer to look at, smelled really pretty, and were actually nice to me. Especially Emma. Emma was the prettiest smelling of all the girls and sang like an angel. I knew exactly what I wanted to be to her. Her manager. That way we'd get to spend all of our time together, and we'd be roommates. By the time I was 12, after having spent way too much time on the internet, I found fan fiction, and with it, a gay Wild West of Harry and Draco dying dramatically in each other's arms. Gerard Way and Frank Iero getting freak nasty in the back of the tour bus. And Edward and Jacob finally getting over their differences and realizing they were meant to be together. There were even a couple where Esmeralda and Mulan were roommates. And through fan fiction, I found the fan fiction boards where I learned that the sexual spectrum was about as diverse as the different scenarios that end with Draco and his rock-hard love being sheathed deeply inside the Weasley boy. Yeah, I'll send you links. I figured out that I was what you would call bisexual because, unfortunately, the onset of puberty also led to a violent attraction to the same gross, scabby boys. A desire that has only gotten stupider and more inconvenient as I've gotten older. But the feelings I had for my girlfriends became clearer and a little less scary now that I knew what they were. Unfortunately, other kids also learned about bisexuality, and most of them were not nearly as sophisticated as I was with my fan fiction boards. In fact, the majority of my darling classmates decided that any girl that said she was bi was actually just a slut looking for attention, or a dyke pretending to like boys to feel normal. At first I protested. Then Dan Savage, the elected king of gay romance, agreed with them. And if Dan Savage says it's right, how can it possibly be wrong? I decided I must actually be straight, shamefacedly admitted to my classmates I was just a lying liar who lies, and retreated back into the world of the heterosexuals. I entered high school in the fall of 2008 with big dreams. I was going to be valedictorian, ha. Head cheer captain, ha. A member of the elite jazz choir, ha. And fall deeply and enviously in love with some hunky football player or class president, ha. I had a perfect life envisioned for myself, and I would put away the childish fixations of my middle school days, like My Chemical Romance and my desire for girls. And my pitch-perfect life would begin when I got a date for the homecoming dance. Surely, one of my secret admirers from my English class would come out of the woodwork and ask me to be his date. Perhaps one of the basses from my choir would shyly slip me a note asking me to check yes. It just had to be a matter of time. No invitation came. As I saw my friends get asked, I grew more and more depressed by the fact that I was seemingly to be left in the dust, a 14-year-old spinster. I quickly decided that I didn't need a date for the dance anyways, because I wasn't going. Why would I want to spend my night in a stuffy room with people I didn't even like, trying to grind on each other to some shitty 3-6 Mafia song? I was far too sophisticated for that kind of behavior. I had my fan fiction boards. My dear friend Bree bullied me into going, and because I was and still am pretty easily led, I went. I spent the first part of the night in the corner feeling just too cool to be there. The music my peers listened to was just so pedestrian. Goodies, dip it low, pshaw. And then I'm Not Okay by My Chemical Romance came on, and I couldn't stop dancing because that song remains a major banger. If you don't think so, you're wrong. I'm not so sad to report. I digress. By this point, I had finally loosened up and stopped being such a miserable asshole, and I went to find Brie and her other friends. They were mostly scrawny anime kids in trench coats trying to mosh pit to Mario, but they were nice enough. But there was one. Oh, but there was one. There was Bonnie Casper, and she was, as the great poets Keats and Shakespeare would say, a major fucking hottie. She was way too pretty to be hanging out with the anime kids, I thought. The kind of effortless, makeupless beauty that was soft. I bet she smelled pretty. I bet someone would burn down Paris for, oh no. Oh, no. I couldn't. I wouldn't. I refused. I was straight, goddammit. I played it cool, trying to stifle the sweat beating on my forehead. There was no way she was also. As far as I knew, I was the only bisexual in Arizona, much less this school. Not that I was bisexual. I was 100% straight. Bonnie pulled me over to dance with her while I tried to convince myself that it was totally natural and platonic to feel my breath catching every time she pulled me a little closer. And that friends look each other deeply in the eyes all the time. And you totally get sweaty when your friends do that. And sometimes your friends will kiss you on a cheek. That is totally a thing that friends do all the time. Even as she slowly and sweetly kissed my lips and I followed her lead, still I thought, I can still be straight after this. And then she slipped me a little tongue, and I came to two realizations. I was definitely not straight, and this whole bisexual thing was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Then Katy Perry's newest, hottest single came on, a song that I hadn't actually heard yet. I bopped around to the beat, and then I heard the lyrics, and sing it with me, people. I kissed a girl, and I liked it. We both couldn't stop laughing, and we couldn't help kissing again. By the end of the night, I had my first kiss and my first girlfriend. My relationship with Bonnie lasted 2 glorious weeks of kissing and it was love. 2 glorious weeks of kissing and hand-holding and just being a door gaze. I even got to touch a boob under the shirt, which pretty much solidified I like girls. But love came crashing to a halt when I realized, oh shit, I'm gonna have to tell people about this, huh? The thought of anyone at school knowing made me vaguely ill. The thought of anyone in my family knowing filled me with an understandable panic. Whatever the opposite of PFLAG was, that was my family. My mom frostily accepted my sister's queerness, but I was sure if she got the sense that I was, I'd be packed off to some convent or worse. Highly ironic in her case, because convents are full of ladies. Tearfully, I broke things off with Bonnie, and I packed my queerness back into my chest of secrets. But where are they now? Bonnie is happily married to another anime nerd. I spend my nights telling dick jokes at a pizza parlor and desperately jokingly begging my friends to fall in love with me. So I'm glad things worked out for a whole one of us. My mom's eventual reaction to my coming out was a resounding, meh? Which, I'll take. I've kissed a lot more ladies, touched a few more boobs. Under the shirt, I still can't believe they let me do that. And I've made a resounding mess of my relationships, male and female. But I finally made peace with my queerness. I am a weird, quirky, bisexual cat lady, and I'm fine with that. Yeah, I kissed a girl. And it was dope as hell. Thank you.
Everyone, Trejon Dunkley. I know I said it like 1,000 times already, but like you're all fantastic for coming out. That was the show. That was Say What. Thank you for being a part of. Wait, I'm not done. Thank you for being a part of the first Say What. Hypothetically, in the future, if this ever takes off, you have bragging rights. So congratulations. It's like you guys, you got like a free pin when you came in and also bragging rights. So that's kind of badass for like a local show, right? I want to just take a second to thank everybody who's involved. The performers, you all did fantastic. The house band who dealt with my insane perfectionistic mindset. Jim Coletti, the owner of the listening room, Phoenix, who without this show would never have left my mind. He was there 100% of the way supporting me. Either in the drawing board room or when it came to me freaking out over just the stress of building a show. So thank you. And like for the 1,001 time, thank you all for being a part of this. I think this could eventually be something that could really be beneficial to Phoenix and Arizona. So yeah, that was the show. If you're interested in, clap for the show. I'll talk some more. I'm really bad at like telling you guys to do your thing. If anyone's interested in being a part of the next show, please come talk to me. I would love to talk to you. Or if you're just like, hey, I like your jacket, or hey, you seem like a cool person, or hey, maybe we have this thing in common, or whatever. I just like talking to people. Like I said, my major is communication. Give me some practice. If you don't, have a great night. And also check out some more of Annalisa's work. I believe there's some more stuff for sale. So yeah, have a great night, everybody. Thank you.